Over the summer, we spent the whole summer talking about players. Is there life after Rice? Is there life after Skamaka? The main one, really, though, was Declan Rice. Is there life after Declan Rice? And we feel like there is, absolutely, but we were not preparing ourselves to lose not just one of our stars, not just two of our stars, not just three of our stars, but potentially more and more stars heading out the door. One of those stars is Lucas Paqueta, as Manchester City are preparing for a new bid for our attacking midfielder, and several journalists are reporting that that offer is expected to go in at any moment, and that offer could be close to the valuation that West Ham see him fit for and could be heading out the door. Now, the Brazilian international first arrived at West Ham for a reported fee of around £51 million from Lyon last summer, and during his debut season in the Premier League, he clocked up in a total of 42 appearances across all competitions. But there's a chance he could be on the move just after one campaign. And despite having another 4 years remaining on his contract, he did establish himself as one of the best performers in the team. He is 25 years old with a lot to give. Absolutely. Now, several reports were saying that Manchester City were really keen on Lucas Paqueta, and reputable reporter or journalist Fabrizio Romano confirmed that they had a £70 million verbal proposal turned down. But the player did change agents during the season, which again is a very odd thing for a player to do who's just signed for a new club as well. But only certain clubs come calling. Therefore, I understand why he would want to move. But are Man City actually going to sign Lucas Paqueta? Well, they are getting ready to table that new offer. And with Paqueta potentially choosing to push to join the club as well, I can't see how this one isn't going to go through. But what I will say about Paqueta is he's a model professional. He's turning up. He's doing a job for the club. He gets stuck into tackles against Bournemouth at the weekend, and you can't ask anything other than what he is doing at the West Ham team. He's turning up to training, he's doing the job, and I think he'll understand if the deal doesn't go through. But I do think this could happen. Now, according to Fabrizio Romano, they understand Man City preparing a new bid for Paqueta, and negotiations will advance with West Ham. And apparently, Paqueta, there's going to be no issues at all with him reaching an agreement on personal terms. So that is no ifs or buts about it. But how good is Lucas Paqueta? Listen, we watch him week in and week out, and we know how good he is. He's posted 12 goal contributions, 7 assists, and 5 goals in 42 appearances. And his ability that he has is unbelievable. And should he put pen to paper for Manchester City, what will they be getting? A fucking phenomenal player. It's as simple as that. He also recorded 52 shots over the course of the campaign, which is the third highest throughout the whole of the squad. But what I do really rate Lucas Paqueta with is his ability in tight spaces with players all around him. He has no fear factor when there's a group of players on the defense against this man. He can ride a tackle. He's like a surfer on the football field. He knows how to ride a tackle, and he gets himself out of dangerous areas. But apart from the fact that he does that, of course he gives the ball away, but he's an attacking minded player, and he plays sometimes in a deep lying role midfield. Now, he does have the versatility to be deployed in 6 or 7 different positions. 6 positions really, in the football field, really across the centre, even up top as a striker. He's done it before, and this is an attribute that, of course, Guardiola would like, and he has tasted a little bit of success with West Ham at the end of the season, and of course winning the Europa Conference League. But is there life after Paqueta? Does that exist? Well, I'll tell you something now, right? We've been here, done that, wore the t-shirt, and I respect Paqueta. I really, really do. But no man stands bigger than this football club. And it's as simple as that. I know as much it would be devastating to lose him. You cannot blame anyone for him with his head being turned, because I do genuinely believe there are only a couple of clubs in world football that can turn your head. Man City and Real Madrid definitely up there as 2 of those clubs that can do that. So we can't fault the player for turning around and making the decision that he would want to potentially explore the opportunity to join the treble winners, winning 3 trophies in one season, Premier League and Champions League. Like, that is going to be too tough to turn around. So the deal has to be right for everyone. But is the life at West Ham after Paqueta? Well, I'll tell you something now. If we do go in and sign a player like Kudus from Ajax, then yes, there is life after Paqueta, because essentially what you're looking at is a player we've signed last season that we spent £50 million at, and potentially could be doubling on our investment. As much as we sit here and slag the West Ham ownership about how we do deals, how we've brought players in and and not make any profits and actually lose a lot of money, then when you look at the last two midfielders we've sold in terms of Declan Rice and Paqueta, you could be making upwards of £150 million over the two players. So £200 million could be coming into West Ham, but you've made about 150 because you've spent 50 on the player previously in last summer. So that would be a really good bit of financial business for the club, especially if the player's head's turned, especially if you know he's not going to be here long term. Then you need to build for the future. You need to build for the investment. And it pisses me off. Of course it does. I want the best players to play at the West Ham, but we're not there. That's the part that pisses me off. We should be there. We should be where we said we would challenge, but we're not. It's as simple as that. So as soon as we get our heads there, then you prepare better for the coming season. So we are going to sign players who have get out clauses. We are going to have sign players to have transfer, options, which means that if someone bids that money, then someone will come in and get them. So, Paqueta's is £85 million and it's next summer. So West Ham are going to say, well, if you want the man, you're going to have to pay well over £85 million to get him, or you wait till next summer and get him for £85 million. So there's the incentive. There you go, Man City. Let's show what you're capable of doing. Have you got the financial prowess? Why would West Ham sell the player £85 million when you've not hit it, because it's not active until next summer? So you've got to pay over the odds. Let's get 95, close to £100 million for the player. Look at the way that these prices are going up and up and up. And I tell you what, replace him immediately with someone like Kudus, who has goal scoring attributes coming out of his ears. He plays as a anywhere across that midfield and also as a forward. He has attributes that play in the Champions League. He scored 4 goals in 6 games in the Champions League for Ajax last season, with also 2 assists and also 2 goals in the Europa League when they did drop out of the Champions League. So the player has got an abundance of talent. You can see West Ham are looking at trying to bring in this talent. We have to bring in this talent sooner rather than later, because what we cannot do is falter in this transfer market. We cannot afford to lose what you would say is the midfielder that we thought we'd build the team around this season and not replace him. Replacing him is key. Replacing him quickly is also key. And someone like Kudus would be a statement of intent, in my honest, genuine opinion. He wasn't on my radar. I feel like Eberechi, someone in the Premier League who ticks a lot of boxes, he would be valued at a shitload more money. But you think he would bring real value to the team. But you've got to look around the European talent. Tim Steidten and David Moyes seem to agree on bringing someone like Kudus in. And what you're actually starting to see with the West Ham team is players that are getting brought in who contribute to goals. Their stats are really high in terms of the goal contributions. Alvarez, for being a defensive midfielder, scores goals and can assist goals and likes to get forward in the attack. Let's look at James Ward-Prowse. We don't need me to tell you any more, apart from the videos I did yesterday, on his goal contributions that he has every single season, week in and week out. He is effective in his role and what he does. If you've got Tommy Suchek playing in a more advanced role, there's goal contributions. Naif Agerd, Kurt Zuma in the team, you're bringing in big lads. You've got all these guys that will get forward with James Ward-Prowse pinging the balls in to the box. So all the players that we are linked to have a high level of goal contributions. So as much as I love Paqueta, I would love nothing more than Paqueta to stay. And if Paqueta was to stay, does he make our squad better? Yes. Is it the end of the world? No. Why? Because we'd get a shitload of money to go and replace the player and do what we need to do, which I believe and I have the full confidence in that we will do. We're not going to go into this season just signing 2 more players, especially if we lose Paqueta. That is not happening. I'll be really surprised. I would be really surprised when we need to bring in more recruits. So goal contribution seems to be something they build upon. That's something I'd like to see as West Ham score more goals. I feel like defensively we're pretty, not solid, but we're there or thereabouts. And I think getting forward, we need to put the ball into the back of the net a lot more. And that's why you never know. I've talked about Solanke. You could tempt with Bournemouth with a bit of money and throw it their way and have that option up top, especially if Antonio was to leave the club. Another player that's got high goal contributions and Premier League experience and young and ticks boxes before Steiden and David Moyes. It's going to be an intriguing day. It's going to be an intriguing week. And we're going to bring this all to you on the West Ham Network. So make sure you do subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, and leave a cheeky comment. We're expecting that bid coming in. Will Paqueta be a West Ham player by the Chelsea game this coming weekend? You let me know in the comments. Take it easy and come on, you Irons.